आरम्भं करोतु महोदय।
ॐ वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ। धन्यवादः।
धन्यवादः महोदय, सम्यक् अस्ति। अस्तु, I know there is a lot of back and forth about the Griha Karyam. It's okay, don't worry. Like I said in the message, if some things are tough, ignore them. We will cover them in the future class. We are never going to ask you to do something without teaching you. So this was our way also to learn where everybody is. This year we have several new students who didn't do Sasyam with us, so we were not sure where everybody stood. Yes, I understand there were some questions that involved Sandhi. It's yeah, we'll be careful in the future. Other than that, any questions about what we studied in the last class?
Mahodaya,
Vadati Mahodaya.
I was expecting the Griha Karyam Vishesha Visheshana Bhava.
So, Satyam.
I mean, otherwise we forget, right?
No, agacchati. So there are 3 classes and we are trying to keep all 3 classes in sync. So sometimes one class is slightly ahead, one class is slightly behind. First, we are trying to get all 57 students on the same level. So as you can imagine, with 3 different batches, it's a little bit challenging. So hopefully we will catch up. Some teachers have to do more revision, some others don't have to. So next homework we'll have Visheshana Bhava. And sometimes you'll see either in the slide deck or in the homeworks, some of the things that we may not cover in the class. Just keep in mind it's for it may be for the other batches, because that teacher has decided their class needs a little bit more revision or something like that. So if we haven't covered it in the class, if you see something in the slide deck, don't get scared. And if I forget to cover that, let me know, we will cover it. So it's a please bear with us. It's a little challenging with 3 different teachers and so many time zones. It's growing pains. I know you're all very patient people. अस्तु, अद्वैतति कोऽपि अस्ति?
महोदय, अहं चित्रा वेङ्कट सुब्रह्मण्यं वदामि।
नमस्ते महोदय।
नमस्ते महोदय, अहं अद्य using another device. My son's name is
चिन्ता नास्ति।
चित्रा वेङ्कट सुब्रह्मण्यं।
यदि चित्रम् आन् कर्तुं शक्नोति चेत् करोतु।
आम् आचार्य, करोतु।
अस्तु, any questions about Vishesha Visheshana Bhava that we studied in the last class? Bhagya Mahoday, what is Vishesha Visheshana Bhava?
Visheshana Bhava is the one which describes Vishesha or Kartrupada or any Padasya. How do you say description or Vishesha?
Visheshanam.
Uttamaha Balakaha, like that.
Uttamaha Balakaha. Anantaram kevalam pumlinge asti va?
न महोदय उत्तमा बालिका उत्तमं फलं
उत्तमं Rita Mahodaya. So Bhagya Mahodaya said in Linga, are there other qualities of Vishesha Visheshana Bhava?
Mahodaya, Linga, then Vachanam and Vibhakti.
Vachanam. Give me one udaharanam of Vachanam.
Ekam phalam. Ekah balakah, eka balika.
That is Linga Bheda. Vachana Bheda.
Ekavachanam means ekah ghatah, dvau ghatau, then dvau ghate. Sorry. Ghatam is Napumsaklinga. So
Ghataha Punlinga.
Pullinga. Ekah ghatah, dvau ghatau. Then
we didn't study with numbers, so don't worry about it. Uttamaha balakaha dvivachane kim bhavati?
Uttamau balakau.
Bahuvachane?
Uttamaha balakaha.
Uttamaha balakaha. Same way for Strilinga and Napumsakalinga. Sudha Mahodaya, vibhakti madhya katham bhavati? Vishesha Visheshana bhavaha. Na smarati che chintamastu.
No, I know it, but I don't know how to give an example.
Uttamaha balakaha. Dvitiya vibhaktau ke katham bhavati? Uttamaha balakaha.
Uttamam balakam.
Uttamam balakam. Tritiya vibhakti?
Balakena. Uttamena balakena. Uttamaya balakaya. And then fifth one is
Uttamat
balakat. Uttamasya balakasya. And sixth one.
Shashti abhavat.
Saptami. Uttame balake.
Uttamam. Satyam. Same way for Strilinga and Napumsakalinga. So straightforward concept. Mama Sanganakam Drushyate va? Can you see my screen?
Samyak drishyate.
Dhanyavadaha. So there is a sutra that helps us to remember what we just learned. Astu atra Harsha Mahodaya, Krupaya Pathatu etat sutram.
Mahodaya. Yallingam yad vachanam yacha vibhaktihi visheshyasya tallingam tadavachanam sa eva vibhaktihi visheshanasya.
Yallingam yadvachanam yacha vibhaktihi visheshyasya tallingam tadvachanam sa eva vibhaktihi visheshanasya. So as we studied, whatever the linga, vachana and vibhakti of the vishesham, that is the linga, vachana and vibhakti of the visheshanam. So sutram, this is the sutram. Sutram just means a rule. So this is the rule that describes what we studied so far. So yallingam, we have never seen this word before. It just means yatlingam because of sandhi. Yadvachanam, yatvachanam. So same thing, I've rewritten it here without the sandhi. So yatlingam, yatvachanam, yacha vibhaktihi visheshasya, tatlingam, tatvachanam, sayeva vibhakti visheshanasya. Same thing without sandhi. Does anybody notice something interesting about this? Atra pashyantu. What is yat?
Yat tat. Yat tat.
Yat tat. What is yat?
That is Napumsakalinga.
Napumsakalinga ekavachanam prathama vibhakti. And what is the word lingam?
Prathama vibhakti.
That
No,
is
it is common. It is common.
That is also Napumsakalinga Prathama Ekavachanam. So
Yes.
you remember I told that the Sarvanama Padas also follow the Vishesha Visheshana Bhava. We will study that in more detail today, but Yat Lingam. So this is Napumsakalinga and this is Napumsakalinga. So Yat is describing Lingam here. Same way Vachanam. Parantu atra Vibhakti Padam Ekakshanam. Vibhakti is Strilinga. Ikaranta Strilinga Padam. That is why we have Ya and not Yat. Same way with the Tat Shabda. Yat Tat Lingam Tat Vachanam Sa Vibhakti. Spashtam about this sutram. It is just describing what we have studied. That's all. Prashna Santi Vatra. No chet agre sarama. Astu. Ekaha abhyasah asti kurma. So we have to fill in the blanks using the appropriate Visheshana padas. Sorry, Visheshana padas. So the basic form of the word is given in the brackets. We have to pick the appropriate Visheshana, whether it's the proper Vachana, Vibhakti or Linga. Bhagya Mahode, Arambham Karotu, Prathamam Karotu.
रिक्तस्थानानि पूरयता नवीनः मित्रा पश्य एषः मम नूतनः स्यूतः
नूतनः स्यूतः किमर्थं
नवीन न्यू बैग
एव नूतन किं पदमस्ति what type of word is nutana
Nutana usually is Nutana is the here Mahodaya is Pullinga. Nutana Syuta.
It is the Visheshana for Syuta.
Oh,
and here
okay.
In this case Syuta is in Prathama Vibhakti Ekavachanam. It happens to be Pullinga. So therefore this also has to be Prathama Vibhakti Ekavachanam Pullinga.
Ekavachanam.
Uttamam. Hemanti Mahodaya. Dvitiyam karot.
तपनः स्यूतः उत्तमः अस्ति.
Uttamah asti. Same reason.
Same reason, yes.
And see one more thing. In this case, we had Nutanah Syutaha. Visheshanam came before Vishesham. Atra Visheshanam is coming after Vishesham. So it doesn't really matter as long as the meaning is clear. Anantara.
Lekhani api. Lekhani api.
So what is Tapanaha trying to say here?
That is the and also new.
So atra nutana iti kasya visheshanam asti? What is it?
Lekhani.
Lekhani. So what is lekhani?
Strilinga ekavachanam.
Akaranta strilinga prathama vibhakti ekavachanam. So this also has to be prathama vibhakti ekavachanam strilinga.
Nutani.
Nutana.
Nutana, yes, nutana. Lekhani api nutana kim?
Lekhani api nutana kim. There is no easy way to know whether it is nutana or nutani. It only comes from practice. But usually in strilinga, visheshanas are either in akaranta strilinga or ikaranta strilinga.
Samichina lekhani. Aho yutakam urukam cha api nutanam.
Why nutanam?
Because yutakam and urukam napusaklingam.
Uttamam. Subramanian Mahodaya, कृपया तृतीयं करोतु.
अभिनगर आगामी सप्ताहे मम पितुः अष्टितं जन्मदिनोत्सवाचरणं भविष्यति.
Don't worry about these two words. It just means 60th birthday anniversary. It's not important in this context.
अतः सः एतत् बहुवचनं. Should I use vastram?
Okay, do vastram first. Astu.
Vastram.
Bahuvachanam. There is a clue here. Bahuvachanam. Vastram. What is bahuvachanam of vastram? Vastram is napumsakalinga. Phalam. What is phalam? Prathama vibhakti.
Phalani.
Phalani. So vastram will be?
Vastrani.
Vastrani.
Vastrani. Saha agrajayai nutana gatim.
So here nutana is a visheshanam for ghati. So what is ghati?
Clock.
Clock eva. Vachanam lingam kim vibhakti.
Strilingam. No.
Strilingam.
Strilingam. Strilingam. Ekavachanam.
Ekavachanama. Atra pashyantu agrajayai ghatim dattavan. So saha, there is already some word in prathama vibhakti. Ekavachanam eva. Vibhakti kim?
I'm trying to pick up, sir. Actually, I told you.
Chinta nastu. This is all abhyasa. This is practice. Don't even worry about it. So, aham phalam dadami. Phalam rotikam dadami. So, what is the rotika, vibhakti of rotikam there?
Bahuvachanam.
Dvivachanam. Dvivachanam. No. Ekavachanam only. Okay. Ghati is ikaranta strilinga, right? So what is dvitiya vibhakti form of ghati? Nadi katham bhavati? Nadi nadyau. Nadyaha. Dvitiya vibhakti? Nadim. So ghatim. Same way. So dvitiya vibhakti ekavachana. So this will also be dvitiya vibhakti ekavachana strilinga. Nutana So it's like Sita, Sita, Site, Sitaha. Dvitiya vibhaktau. What will be Sita, Dvitiya vibhakti ekavachanam?
Nutana.
Nutanam, Sitam.
Nutana.
Nutanam ghatim. Kandukam.
Kandukam.
What is Kandukam? Figure out the lingam, vachanam and vibhakti first.
Strilingam.
Kandukam is napumsakalingam.
Napumsakalingam. Nutanam Kandukam.
Nutanam Kandukam. Why Nutanam Kandukam?
Sometimes I have to pick up.
So Dvitiya vibhakti ekavachanam, napumsakalingam. So Nutana also has to be Dvitiya vibhakti ekavachana, napumsakalinga. Is this confusing? I will explain again if it's confusing.
No, it's why I have noted down. I will again go through it and pick up.
So for everybody also, is this confusing or? If it's confusing, please stop me.
No,
So
it's
what
not
we are
confusing.
trying to do in this abhyasa is, we are trying to figure out what is the Visheshya, what is being described, and what is the Visheshanam, what is describing it. And what we are saying is the Linga Vachana Vibhakti of the Visheshanam has to match the Linga Vachana Vibhakti of the Vishesha. That's all we are trying to do. Let's continue. It will become clear.
Anu Mahodaya, ekah prashna asti. So in this sentence, aho yutakam urukam cha api, if we say it is nutanam, atra vachana beda nasti va. I mean yutakam urukam. So shirt and pair of trousers. So shouldn't that be nutane?
Nutane. Aho yutakam urukam cha api nutane, because it's a dvivachana. Satyam. Nutane.
Dhanyavada.
Bhavati eva karotu trutiyam etat vakyam. Next.
Shashtabhyat purti karyakramam vaibhavena acharanti va bhavantaha.
So again, don't worry about this word. It just means 60th anniversary. We couldn't find a easier word, so ignore this.
Navinaha Vishishta Bandhavan Uttama.
First look for Visheshyam and then look for its Vachana Vibhakti Linga and then look at the Visheshana. That is easier way.
Bandhavan, guess. Dvitiya Vibhakti Bahuvachanam.
Lingam kim asti?
Pullingam asti Mahodaya.
Pumlinga Dvitiya Vibhakti Bahuvachanam. So atra Visheshanam kim asti?
Vishishtan Bandhavan.
Uttama. Vishishtan Bandhavan.
Parichitancha Avhayamaha. Parichitan, people who are familiar. Atra Pullingam Bahuvachanam Dvitiya Vibhakti. Uttaman Parichitancha Avhayamaha.
Uttama.
Bhavanapi Vishishtaihi Gruha Sadasyaihi Saha Agachatu.
Tra prashnaha santi va? Any questions? Viraj Mahodaya, Bhavan karotu, the next two.
Tapanaha astu pashyama tavat Navinaha तस्मिन् दिने आगतेभ्यः उपायनं किमपि दास्यते. So jana is given, so it looks like visheshyam, right? So,
dasyate atra asti. So that is the
Atmanepadi of
Atmanepadi asti va? Astu. So bhavishyat kala. Dana kriya asti. So it will be. What is the vakyam trying to say?
Tasmin dine agatebhya. On that day, for the people who came on that day,
Upayanam. Some gift will be given. Some present or gift will be given for the people who come on that day. So for asti atra. So what will be the vibhakti that will be used? Dana kriya asti chet.
Then Chaturthi.
Chaturthi vibhakti. Agatebhyaha. So what vachanam is that?
This is then Chaturthi Bahuvachana.
Bahuvachanam. So jana is describing agatebhyaha. Agatebhyaha means the people who have come or coming rather. Okay. So jana also has to be in which vibhakti, which vachanam?
Chaturthi Bahuvachana Janebhyaha.
Tasmin dine agatebhyaha janebhyaha upayanam kimapi dasyate. Uttamam. Sumitra Mahoday, etat karotu.
Mahoday, before that. So here agatebhyaha will be visheshanam, right? And janebhyaha will be visheshanam.
Correct. Agatebhyaha is visheshana, janebhyaha is visheshyam. What type of jana? Agatebhyaha, the one who are coming.
Tapanaha naharat api bandavaha agamisyanti kalu. So sudur nagarat is panchami vibhakti.
Tell the full thing. Linga vachana vibhakti.
Nagaram is napumsaka lingam. Eka vachanam panchami vibhakti.
And what is it? What is the visheshana for that?
Sudurat.
Sudurat. Sudurat Nagarat.
Sudurat Nagarat api bandhavaha agamisyanti kalu.
What does that mean?
Sudurat is.
Duram.
So are there like many relatives are coming? Are also coming, right?
Duram
like
keep taking.
Far away or nearby?
Far.
One of that.
Far. Duram. It's the same in Telugu and Hindi also. I'm sure. I don't know if other languages, but Sudurat Nagarat api bandhavaha agamisyanti khalu. What does that mean? From far away places also people are coming, right?
Coming also like is it like we are asking? Isn't it?
Isn't it? Satya. Hina Mahoday, etat karotu.
Dhanyavad.
Hina Mahoday, mute madhya asti khalu prayaha.
नवीनः आम बांधवा विभिन्न नगरेभ्यः आगमिष्यन्ति. Means they are coming from a different cities.
So atra, what is the vishesham here?
Visheshan is vibhinna and nagarebhyah is visheshya.
do it the other way. Always first pick out the Vishesham, then do the Visheshana.
So Nagarebhyaha is Visheshya and Vibhinna is Visheshana.
So what is the Linga Vachana Vibhakti of Vishesham?
Nagarebhyaha. So here it will be Vibhinnebhyaha.
First tell me the Linga Vachana Vibhakti of Vishesham.
This is Nagaram. Okay, so this is Napusak Linga from. So it will be fifth.
Panchami.
Panchami, fifth Vibhakti. Panchami Vibhakti. Nagarat and Nagarebhyaha.
Vachanam.
Vachana is this is Bahuvachanam.
So the Visheshanam also has to be Napumsakalinga, Panchami Vibhakti, Bahuvachanam.
Panchami Vibhakti, Bahuvachanam.
So what will it be?
Vibhinnebhyaha.
Nagarebhyaha agamisyanti. So first identify the Vishesham, then identify its Linga Vachana Vibhakti, then proceed to the Visheshanam. Astu, uttamam, dhanyavadah. Chitra Venkateshan Venkata Subramanyam Mahoday.
Tapanah etasya grihasya vaishalya nyunam kalu. Etasya grihasya vaishalyam nyunam kalu. Nyunam is Visheshanam. Nyunam Visheshana Napunsaka Vaishalyam. No, sorry. Nyunam is Vishesham. Nyunam is Vishesham Napunsaka Vaishalyam Visheshanam Napunsaka Etasya grihasya Vaishalyam Nyunam kalu.
Are you sure about which is Visheshana and which is Visheshana?
Acharya.
Atra pashyatu.
Vaishalya is a Visheshanam.
Evam va. So
Vaishalya.
Ekakshanam. What is it talking about? What is this vakyam?
Etasya grihasya vishishtaha bandhava kutra vasanti. Is it large enough?
No. We are still here in this sentence. What is it trying to say? What is the meaning?
Etasya grihasya vaishalya nyunam kalu vishishtaha bandhava kutra vasanti. This houses the size.
Size.
Nyunam, it's small. Nyunam is either less or small.
Satya. So we are talking about size, we are talking about small. So kim Visheshanam asti, kim Vishesham asti?
Nyunam is Nyunam should be the Visheshanam.
Visheshanam.
Vaishalyam should be the Vishesham.
Vishesham. Satya.
Vishishtaha bandhavaha kutra vasanti.
Satya. Antimam api karotu.
Navinaha. Pashvastha griheshu api vasaha bhavishyati. Griheshu griham napunsakalingam. Saptami vibhakti. Parsveshu griheshu api.
Vachanam.
Parsveshu.
No. Vachanam.
Vachanam bahuvachanam.
So you have to match all three. Linga, Vachana, Vibhakti. So you can't say only two.
Parsveshu griheshu.
Parshveshu
griheshu api vasaha bhavishyati.
Okay, Satyam. Let's take this as only Parshva, not Stha. Ignore Stha. Okay, Parshva. Parshveshu gruheshu api vasaha bhavishyati. He's saying, even though the house is small, don't worry, because the people will be put up in the nearby houses also. Spashtam va prashna santi va, please ask, because this is a very, very important concept. This will extend throughout the entire course. So if things are not clear, I am happy to explain again. Please ask.
The last thing.
Mahoday.
Ekakshanam. Let's go in an order. Ramu Mahodaya, pruchhatu.
Yes, in the last thing, it was talking about a grihasya. So grihasya should become the Vishesham, no?
Yeah.
Satyam.
Grihasya.
Satyam. But
just wait.
Parantu, even though it is talking about the house, atra they are talking about the size of the house. The size is small. So, let us say Harita Varnasya Gruhasya, the green houses. If we say that, then Harita Varnasya will match Gruhasya. So not just because you see something being talked about something doesn't mean it automatically becomes the Visheshana of that.
Okay. Okay. Dhanyavad.
So udaharanam pashyantu. For example, my brother's height is let us say taller than me. So brothers shashti vibhakti of brother shashti. But we are talking height taller brothers. So what is the Visheshana Vishesha Bhava there? What are we talking about? What is describing what? The tallness is describing the height, right? So there those two should match. Yeah, it happens to be that we are talking about my brother's side, but it's just off Shashti Vibhakti Tatra. So height and tallness should match in Linga Vachana Vibhakti. Same thing here. Of the house, the size and Ekakshanam Ramu Mahodaya. So of the house, the size, is it small or big? So that is what we are talking about. So just because you see something doesn't automatically make it Visheshana Vishesha Bhava. Is that clear? So we need to be careful.
Thank you.
Rita Mahodaya, bhavati api kimapi prashtum ichchati va?
Same question.
Same question. Usha Mahodaya, you also had a question? Same question.
No, same question.
Is this clear now?
Yeah.
Gruhasya Visheshanam is etasya sarvanam.
Ekasya Gruhasya or etasya Gruhasya. Harita Varnasya Gruhasya. If we are describing the house in that way, Satya. But here we are saying of the house. So it's not the Visheshana. So we need to be careful about picking out what is the Visheshanam, what is described, what is being described, what is describing, etc. It comes with practice. Anya prashnaः santi va? Astu, agre saramaः. So this is one of the shlokas that uses Visheshana Vishesha Bhava, Vishesha Visheshana Bhava. The same word Sundara is being used in Pullinga, Strilinga and Napumsakalinga. Does anybody know what this shloka is talking about? No, okay. I thought this was a very popular shloka. Chinta nasti. This is about Sundara Kanda. In Ramayana, there are 6 kandas or 7 kandas, right? So one of them is Sundara Kanda.
7.
Astu. Atra Sundari Mahodaya, Krupaya Pathatu.
Sundare, Sundaro, Sundaraha, Ramaha, Sundare, Sundari, Katha, Sundare, Sundari, Sita, Sundare, Sundaram, Vanam. Sundare, Sundaram, Kavyam, Sundare, Sundaraha, Kapihi. Sundare, Sundaram, Mantram, Sundare, Kim na Sundaram.
Uttamam. Sundare Sundaro Ramah, Sundare Sundari Katha, Sundare Sundari Sita, Sundare Sundaram Vanam, Sundare Sundaram Kavyam, Sundare Sundaraha Kapihi, Sundare Sundaram Mantram, Sundare Kimna Sundaram. So this is talking about Sundara Kanda. So Sundare, Sundare means in Sundara, right? Saptami Ekavachanam. So it's talking in Sundara Kanda. Sundaro, Sundaro, it's just because of Sandhi, don't worry about it. Sundare, Sundaraha Ramaha. So Rama is Sundara. So Ramaha, Pumlinga, Prathama Vibhakti Ekavachanam. So Visheshanam also has to be same thing. So Sundaraha. Parantu, Atra, Sundare, in Sundara Kanda, Katha. What is Katha?
Katha is Strilinga.
Akaranta Strilinga. Prathama Vibhakti. So there, Sundara, since it's a Visheshanam, it changes to Sundari, Akaranta, Prathama Vibhakti, Ekavachanam. So see, the story is also very Sundaram, Sundari. Again, Sita, Akaranta Strilinga. So Sundari, it is describing Sita. In Sundara Kanda, Sita is also Sundara. So it's not describing just the physical appearance, because in Sundara Kanda she is she doesn't eat, she becomes very thin and all that. So it's not talking about her physical beauty, it's talking about her antas saundaryam. Because she doesn't, she only says only Rama is for me, in spite of all temptations from Ravana. Sundare Sundaram Vanam. So atra Vanam kim asti?
Napunsakalinga.
Vanam Napunsakalinga.
And in Sundara Kanda, what Vanam is being described?
Is it Ashokavanam?
Ashokavanam. This talks about basically Sita when she is in the Ashokavanam. So Ashokavanam, Vanam Napumsakalingam. So Vanam is beautiful. Anantaram Sundare Sundaram Kavyam. So the Sundara Kanda, the entire Kavyam is also very beautiful. Sundare Sundaraha Kapihi. Atra Kasya Vivaranam asti?
Hanuman.
Hanuman Sugriva.
Hanuman. Anjaneyasya Vivaranam asti. So Anjaneya is also Sundara. Again, it's not talking about his Bahya Saundaryam, Antas Saundaryam. Sundare Sundaram Mantram. So they say that there are many mantras in Sundara Kanda that are very important, that will help us in many ways. So Sundare Sundaram Mantram. Sundare Kimna Sundaram. What is not Sundaram in Sundara Kanda? So that is what it is saying. Here, Kim, as I said, Sarvanama Padas also take on the Visheshana Bhava of the Vishesha. So here it is talking about Saundaryam. What is not beautiful? So Sundaram Atra Napumsakalinga asti. So Kimna Sundaram, what is not beautiful in Sundara Kanda? So the same word Sundara is taking on different forms based on what it is describing. It's just an example of Vishesha Visheshana Bhava in real life. One more, which is, we are very familiar with this. Vakratunda Mahakaya Koti Surya Samaprabha Nirvighnam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. So here Deva is the Vishesham, and Vakratunda, Mahakaya, Koti Surya Samaprabha, these are all Visheshanani. So what is Deva in this Linga Vachana Vibhakti?
Sambodhana.
Sambodhana. And then Lingam, Vachanam.
Pullinga.
Pullinga, sir.
Who's
Pullingam ekavachanam.
who are we talking about in this?
Ganeshaya.
Ganesha. So it has to be Punlinga. Vachanam?
Pulling ekavachanam.
Ekavachanam. So what is Vakratunda?
Curly trunk.
Satyam. The trunk which is twisted, curly, however you want to say it. So that also has to be in Sambodhana, Pumlinga, Ekavachana. Mahakaya?
Big belly.
Big body.
Body.
Big body.
Vishala Kayam, Vishala Shariram Yasya. Koti Surya Samaprabha. Prabha is the light. One who is as bright.
As Koti Surya.
One who is as bright as 1 crore Surya.
Koti Surya.
So, He Deva, He Vakratunda, He Mahakaya, He Koti Surya Samaprabha, Me Mama Nirvighnam Kuru Sarvada Sarvakaryeshu. So in all my work, all my efforts, and all the time, please remove all vignas. So Vishesha Visheshana Bhava will apply to Sambodhana also, not just the other 7. Is this clear? Spashtam va?
Bhanu Mahodaya. Nirvignam or Nirvignan? I'm confused on that.
Nirvignam.
Is it a ma sound or is it a na sound?
Ma, like mother. Ma.
Nirvignam.
Vignam means impediment. Obstacle.
Okay, धन्यवाद.
Anya prashna santi va?
Bhanu Mahoday, can like someone sing say this mantra in the if it could be sent to the group in the correct pronunciation? Yes.
Astu. I think Haripriya Mahodaya sent this to us last year, didn't she? She sent all the prarthana shlokas.
No, I was watching Sasham past 3 video, Karthik Mahodaya, and I think he said that Nirvignam is Ashuddha. So it should be Nirvignan. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong or hearing it wrong, but I just got confused at which one is it.
I've never heard of Nirvignan. Maybe it is. I can check.
Yeah, it's in the beginning of his Sasham 4 video on the March. April 14th video.
Prayaha. Maybe it is. I've never heard it said that way.
I've never heard it, but I just saw.
Astu. Prayaha. My knowledge is also limited. I will check.
Yeah.
Bhanu Mahodaya, I have got one little doubt.
Pruchatu.
In the previous sloka, we said Sundaro Ramaha, but Sundaraha Kapihi. Why not Sundaro Kapihi?
It's because of Sandhi Mahodaya. Sandhi. We will. This is Visarga Sandhi. We will study why it is Sundaraha Kapihi but Sundaro Ramaha.
Sundaro Ramaha.
Basically, this is a Karkasha Vyanjana. So when you have a Visarga following a Karkasha Vyanjana, the Visarga remains as it is and it doesn't become Okara. Parantu atra ha, ya, ra, va and Mrudu Vyanjana asti chet visargasya okaraha bhavati. That's a sutra we will study when we study visarga sandhis.
Dhanyavad.
Astu, any questions about Vishesha Visheshana Bhava? Astu. We will do a lot more abhyasa in the homework also, and that will clarify a lot of concepts. When you're doing your homework, please first identify the Visheshyam and Visheshanam, then identify the Linga Vachana Vibhakti of the Visheshyam. That will help you identify the Linga Vachana Vibhakti of the Visheshanam also. That's the right order to do it in. That way you will not make mistakes. Astu. Let's look at a new topic today, Halanta Shabdaha. We've studied, okay, let me pause here. Let me pause the screen sharing. We've studied the vibhakti of several words, Rama, Sita, Nadi, Guru, ityadi, right? So we said Rama. What type of word is Rama?
Akaranta.
Akaranta Punlinga. Same way Sita is Akaranta Strilinga. Parantu, when it comes to Pita, what do we say? Pita is what? Or Mata?
Rukaranta.
Rukaranta. So why is Pita not Akaranta Punlinga and Mata not Akaranta Strilinga?
It is Pitru Shabdam.
Pratipadikam Pitru asti.
Pratipadikam Pitru asti. Usha Mahodaya, what is Pratipadikam?
The root.
Mulapada. Mulapada. So from that Pratipadikam, the Vibhakti, different Vibhakti forms are found out. Or derived rather. So, so far we have studied Akaranta, Ukaranta, Ikaranta, Akaranta, Rukaranta. What are all those words? What are all those letters? Swaras. Swaras. Have we studied any? So what there is swaras and then there is Vyanjanas. Have we studied any Vyanjana based words?
Takaranta, right? Takaranta.
What is the udaharanam? Bhagya Mahodaya?
Etat, tad shabda, etat shabda.
Tad. We studied tad shabda. Etad. And then we studied one more. Kopi smarati va?
Ishma shabda, right, Mahodaya?
That is also dakaranta. Tad. Yad.
Yat.
What about kaha kauke kim ka ke kaha?
Kim shabda.
Kim shabda. Makaranta. So we just said this is makaranta, akaranta, but what is it? Let us see in a little bit of detail. So a revision for all of us. What is a vakyam? Vakyam is just a padanam samuhaha. It's a collection of padas, words. And a padam, a word itself is aksharanam samuhaha. It's a collection of letters. And we said padam is of two types, nama padam, kriya padam. And nama padam udaharanani atra santi, kriyapadasya udaharanani atra santi, balakha, balika, simha, etc. Pathati, likhati, we are all familiar with this. So how is a word itself formed? So at the very basic fundamental level, a word, a padam, is composed of two parts. One is called the prakruti and the other is called pratyaya. Prakruti means a base form and a pratyaya is a transformation. So for example, Rama is a prakruti, and then if you apply something called as the sup pratyaya in Prathama Vibhakti Ekavachanam, it will become Ramaha. Same way, if you apply the sup pratyaya that is equivalent to Saptami Vibhakti, it will become Rame. Same way, Ramasya, etc. So Prakruti plus pratyaya becomes Padam. So for Namapadam, Prakruti is called Pratipadikam, and the pratyaya that we apply to Pratipadikam is called Sup Pratyaya. And when you do this, you will get a Namapadam. Namapadam, another term that we use is Subantam. Why is it called Subantam? Because we apply the Sup Pratyaya. Sundari Mahodaya, Krupaya mute Madhya Bhavantu. There is a feedback from your microphone. Dhanyavadaha. So because we apply something called as the Sup Pratyaya to the Pratipadikam, the Mula Shabdam, the root, the foundational word, it is called Subantam. Subantam, because of Sandhi, it becomes Subantam. Antam. So Ante, in the end, there is something called Sup. What is that Sup? We will see. And that is why it is called Subanta. Udaharanam atrasti, Rama plus Su, it will become Ramaha. Rama plus Yau becomes Ramau. Rama plus Sup is, no, this should be Rameshu. Atra typo asti, I will fix it. This should be Rameshu. So all these are called Pratipadikams. The same Pratipadikam, if you apply different Sup Pratyayas, it will take on different forms. The same Rama becomes Ramaha in one case, Ramau in another case, and Rameshu in another case. Why it becomes like that? It's out of scope for us. It's because of Panini Sutras. Since we are not studying this through Panini Sutras, we can ignore it. But just know that when you apply Sup, we have to apply Sup Pratyaya to a Pratipadikam to get the different Vibhakti forms. One more thing. The word Rama by itself is not something that can be used. Same way, the Su or Jau or Sup, these are not words that can be used by themselves. Only when you combine these two. Krupaya mute Madhya Bhavantu. There is a feedback, so please stay in mute. So these Pratipadikam or the Pratyaya, they are intermediary forms or rules that are applied on each other to come up with a final form. So the only the final form, Ramaha, Ramau, Rameshu, are words that can be used. These cannot be used. They are intermediary forms that participate in the transformation in the sutra. The sutra has several steps. First you have to do this, then you have to do this, then you have to do this. There are well-defined rules. only after applying all those rules, we will get the Ramaha, Ramau, Rameshu. We don't need to worry about what those rules are and what is the order in which the rule should be applied and what are the intermediary forms. The only thing to take away is there is a Pratipadikam, you have to apply a Pratyaya, then you will get a Vibhakti form. The other thing to remember is the Pratipadikam cannot be applied by itself, nor can the Pratyaya be applied by it, used by itself. Only the Vibhakti forms can be used as a Padam. So here Rama is called a Shabda. It's not a Padam. Ramaha is a Padam. Rama, Sita, Nadi, Pitru, Matru, those are all Pratipadikams and they are called Shabda. Shabda cannot be used by itself. Only the Vibhakti forms, which are Padas, they can be used by themselves. We'll see about Kriya Padas in a later time. Astu, Pashyamaha. Etadapi Pashyamaha. Atra Prashnaha Santi va?
The first
Sundari
one.
Mahodaya, Pruchate.
Yeah. Rama plus Sum, is it?
Sum
No.
will become Rama.
It is something like Om, where you put that, no? So I'm new to. So you put a dot as well as this. Both are
Satyam,
same.
Satyam. Chandra Bindu and the dot. Satyam.
Sorry, I'm asking a very silly doubt because I have started learning recently only all the aksharas.
So don't. I understand. As I said, these things are only given as explanation. Don't even worry about it. You'll never see it again in your life unless you study Panini Sutra.
Shamita Mahodaya, the second one, it is Au or Jau?
Jau.
Jau.
Again, don't worry about this. After today, you will never see these middle circles. I'm only sharing this so that you have some foundation. So if that doesn't make sense, ignore it. The only, like I said, the main thing to take away from there is a Shabda, which is a Pratipadikam, or rather Pratipadikam, which is a Shabda, cannot be used by itself. Nor can the word, nor can the sound that is forming the pratyaya, that cannot be used by itself. Only the final form, which is the pada, only that can be used. Anya Prashna.
Shamyakta Mahodaya, I have a question. So you said that we can't use Pratipakam on its own, right? So Rama in Sambodhana form.
Uttama Prashna. So there, what the sutra says is there is a pratyaya applied and then it gets cancelled, and that's why it remains Rama. Some pratyaya. Even I haven't studied Panini Sutras, but in Sambodhana, what becomes is Rama plus whatever the equivalent of Sambodhana pratyaya is applied, and then it gets cancelled, so that in the Sambodhana form, the Sambodhana word is similar to the Pratipadika. So there, even though they sound similar, Rama, there is not a Pratipadikam, it's an actual Padam.
Astu. Dhanyavad.
Astu. Anya Prashnaha Santi va? Some theory to increase our knowledge. So same way for Kriya Padas, every time Prakruti Pratyaya is Padam. So in the case of Kriya Padas, the Prakruti is called Dhatu, Dhatuhu. And the Pratyaya, usually there are many Pratyayas that can be applied on Dhatus. One of the Pratyayas that we have studied so far is Ting Pratyaya. And that therefore makes the kriya padams also, we also call it as tingantam, because it anta, in the end there is something called ting. Pathati, pathataha. So pat, this is the dhatu. This is the ting pratyaya. No, this is the ting pratyaya. Tip is the ting pratyaya. Is called the vikarana pratyaya. What those are, don't even worry about it. I'm just giving this as an example. So pat plus a plus tip. So tip, tas, jis, these are all ting pratyayas. In this case happens to be vikarana pratyaya. What is that? Don't worry about it. But what we need to take away is pat. This is the dhatu. So ti is at the end. So pat plus a plus ti. So ignore a for a second. Pat plus tip will becomes pathati. Pat plus tas pathataha. Pat plus jis pathanti. So ti taha anti. So pat by itself again cannot be used. It has to be used in conjunction with this pratyaya ti taha anti. So they are the tinganta forms. That is why kriya padas are also called tingantas, just like nama padas are called subantas. Again, you will never see the middle two circles in your life unless you are studying Panini sutras. So don't even worry about it. The main takeaway is pat is the dhatu, and pat by itself cannot be used, just like with nama padam. Pratipadikam cannot be used. The dhatu by itself cannot be used, nor can these be. These are all pratyaya antas. So they also cannot be used by themselves. Only the final forms can be used as words. So pat is a dhatu. It is also a shabda. Pathati is a pada. Just like Rama is a pratipadikam, is a shabda, parantu Ramaha, Ramena, etc. Those are the padams. Only padams can be used by themselves, not the pratipadikam or the dhatus. Spashtam va? Prashnaha santi va? So that is also one of the reasons why I keep insisting on the pronunciation being correct. And this becomes a challenge for people who have Hindi as a mother tongue. So whether there is a halanta or not, in many cases, we in Hindi, we use the halanta equivalent word, halanta sounding word. Ram, we say, even though we write Rama without the halanta, in Hindi, it is correct to say Ram, but in Sanskritam, if there is no halanta, it is Rama. So all these things matter. So because there is no equivalent pratipadikam for something called Ram, so that is why it is incorrect in Sanskrit. We saw that for Namapadam, Lingam, Vachanam, Vibhakti are the three main gunaha. Same way for Kriya Padam, Lakara, Purusha, Vachanam. We have seen that many times. So the words that we have studied so far, Ramaha, Sita, Nadi, etc., they are called Ajanta Shabdaha. Why are they called Ajanta Shabdaha? Because Ach means another name for Swaras. So Rama, Sita, Nadi, Matru, Pitru, they all have Swaras at the end in the Pratipadikam. Matru, Ma, M, A, Tr, R, T, and R, Rkaranta. So A, I, R, etc. Those are all swaras, right? Another name for swaras is Ach. So in the Pratipadikam, the Pratipadikams that end in Ach, they are called Ajanta Shabdaha. So, atra pashyantu. Matru is a, t, r. Same way, phala, p, a, l, a. So if you look, all these end with swaras or ach shabdas. That is why they are called ajanta shabdaha. Same way, we studied kim. Kim is k, i, m, bhavat. We studied bh, a, v, a, th, tad, ends in d, dakara, nam, naman ends in nakara. So t, d, n, these are all vyanjanas. Another name for vyanjana is hal. So since the pratipadikams of these end in hal shabdas, they are called halanta shabdas. So we always look at the pratipadikam, whether it ends in hal or ach, swaras or vyanjanas. Why they are called ach and hal, we will study when we study the Maheshwara Sutra. And we will study those before we do sandhis. So we are going step by step. So ajanta shabdas are nothing but swara, pratipadikams that have swara as the ending. Halanta shabdas are those that have vyanjanas as the ending in the pratipadika. Prashna santiva? Usha Mahodaya, you look deep in thought. Prashna asti va?
No, Mahodaya.
Asti. So this is an important thing. So when we talk about either a nama padam or a kriya padam, we have to, there is a certain way of describing a nama padam. You have to first say the anta, then the linga, shabda, vibhakti and vachanam. What do we mean by that? So if we say, for example, Ramaha, so we have to say akarantaha, pumlingaha, Rama shabdaha, prathama vibhakti ekavachanam. Same way, Sitasu, akarantaha, trilingaha, Sita shabdaha, saptami vibhakti bahuvachanam. Same way, phalayoho. Anta, linga, shabda, vibhakti, vachanam. So when you do this in this order, that is called as the vivaranam of a padam. For a nama padam, it is anta, linga, shabda, vibhakti, vachanam. Shabda just here means the pratipadikam. So what is the difference between shabda and pada?
Shabda, Mula Dhatu Mahodaya.
Shabda just
means Padam is like including Linga, Vachana,
Satya.
Vibhakti.
Shabda is just a sound, Rama, etc., which cannot be used by itself. Padam is the end result. In the case of Nama Padam, it is the Vibhakti forms. Same way for Kriya Padam, the Vivaranam, how you describe a Kriya Padam is Dhatu, whether it is Parasmaipadi or Atmanepadi, Lakara, Purusha and Vachanam. So Pathati means Pat Dhatu, Parasmaipadi, Lat Lakaraha, Prathama Purusha, Ekvachanam. Same way for Lekhishami and Datte. And again, here also, Pat, Likh, Da, they are dhatus, they are also shabdas. They cannot be used by themselves. Only the end form like Pathati, Lekhishyami, Datte, those are all the Kriya Padam. They are the ones that can be used. So why we are studying all of this now? Because we are building the foundation for analyzing shlokas. There is a procedure called Anvaya Krama, Anvaya Rachana. So these are all used there. So we are building step by step. We are going step by step towards that. So we have to know how you describe what is the Vivaranam of a Namapadam. Same way, what is the Vivaranam of a Kriyapadam. It will come with practice, Chinta Mastu. Prashna Santi va? Astu. Agre Saramaha. So here there are some Namapadam and Kriyapadam. Let us do a quick abhyasa on the Vivaranam of each of them. Who's done? Meera Mahote. Vishnoho.
Ukaranta. Pullinga Shabda. Vishnohu.
Vishnoho. Vishnu Shabdaha.
Vishnoho is Shashti. Shashti Vibhakti. And Dvivat Ekavachana.
Ekavachana. Uttamam. Ukarantaha Pumlingaha Vishnu Shabdaha Shashti Vibhakti Ekavachana. Uttamam. Bhavantaha Narayanan Mahodaya.
Bhavantaha Akaranta Pullinga
Bhavan Bhavantau Bhavantaha.
Nakaranta.
Takaran. Bhavat Shabda.
Pullinga. Bhavan Shabda.
No. Bhavat Takaranta. Bhavat Shabda.
Bhavat Shabda.
Like Dhimat, no?
Astu. We haven't studied that. Ignore it. Let us do Mataram.
Rikaranta Shabda.
Uttam.
Rikaranta Strilinga. Rikaranta Strilinga. Matra Shabda. Matra Shabda. Then Mataram, right? Dvitiya Vibhakti. Dvitiya Vibhakti Ekavachana.
Uttamam. Rikarantaha Strilingaha Matra Shabdaha Dvitiya Vibhakti Ekavachana. Uttamam. Bhashate Bhagya Mahode. Bhashate. Namapadam asti va Kriyapadam asti va?
Bhashate Kriyapadam Mahodaya.
Vivaranam dadat.
Kriya Atmanepadi
Atra Kramaha Ekakshanam. Atra Kramaha asti Kramam Anusrutya Vadatu.
Kriyapadam Dhatuhu Bhash Dhatuhu Atmanepadi Lat Lakaraha Pratama Purushaha Ekavachanam.
Uttama. Akarot. Kalpana Mahode. Akarot.
Shakru.
Is it Namapadam or Kriyapadam?
Kriyapadam.
Kriyapadam.
Kriyapadam. Krudatu.
Uttama.
Parasmaipadi. Lang Lakaraha. Pratama Purushaha Ekavachana.
Uttamam. Prashant Mahodaya. Prashant Sharma Mahodaya. Pitarau. Namapadam va Kriyapadam va?
Namapadam. Is it Akarant? No.
Pitarau. What is Pitarau?
Pitaram, Napunsakling.
Pitru Shabda. Pita Pitarau.
Pita. Okay. Like I don't remember.
Chinta. If you don't remember, it's okay. Usha Mahoday. Usha Mahoday Smarati va?
Yeah. Can you show the order? Pitarau. Rikaranta. Pulinga. Pitru Shuddha. Pradhama Vibhakti Dvivachana.
Prathama Vibhakti Dvivachana. Kevalam Prathama Vibhakti va?
Pitarau.
It's Prathama Vibhakti, but is it only Prathama Vibhakti?
Also Dvitiya Vibhakti.
Sambodhana api asti va?
Yeah, Sambodhana as well. Pitarau.
And how do we know which Vibhakti it takes?
In the context of the sentence.
Only in the context. Satya. Gayatri Mahoday. Kurutha.
Kriyapadam. Krudhatu. Parasmaipadi. Lot lakara. Lot lakara. Latlakara. Madhyam Purusha. Bahuvachanam.
Okay, give me the forms. All the forms. In Latlakara, Krudhatu.
Karoshi. Kurutaha. Kuruta.
Karoshi, Kurutaha, Kurutha. Astu. Uttama. Antime. Who has not got a turn? Rohini Mahoday. Vadani. Kriyapadam va Namapadam va?
Kriyapadam.
Kriyapadam.
Saptam. I don't know the Saptam.
Vad dhatu.
Akaranta.
No, not akaranta. Here, see, it's only for Kriyapadam, dhatu, whether it's Atmanepadi, Parasmaipadi, Lakara, Purusha, Vachanam.
Dhatu. Parasmaipadi. Is Uttama Purusha.
Uttamam. Lakara kim? Lot Lakara. Lot Lakara. Lot Lakara. Uttama Purusha. Ekavachanam. Uttama. Astu. Prashna santi va atra? Sandehaः santi va?
Mahodaya. Vishnoः padam panchami vibhakti ekavachana.
Vishnoः. Satyam. It's not Shashti. You're right. Vishnu.
Plus?
Vishnu is Shashti.
Vishnu is Saptami.
Vishnu is Saptami.
Vishnoः panchami Shashti. Pratama vibhakti ekavachana.
Satyam. Vishnu is Saptami. You're right. Astu. So now we studied the Ajanta Shabdaha, many of them. Let us start studying the Halanta Shabdaha in detail. So in this level, we have to study many Halanta Shabdaha, because it's not just Ajanta Shabdaha in the Vangmayam, so we have to study this. So we are familiar with this bhavat shabdaha. We studied bhavan, bhavataha nama kim, bhavan astiva, etc. We have studied, right? So let us see the other vibhakti forms of bhavat shabdaha. So even though we say bhavan or bhavati, the pratipadikam for this is bhavat. So takarantaha bhavat shabdaha.
क्षम्यता महोदय, एक संशय अस्ति.
पृच्छतु महोदय.
Vishnoh, that was Vishnoh, which is Shashti, no? Panchami and Shashti.
Panchami or Shashti.
Vishnu will be Saptami. Right?
Vishnu is Saptami, Satyam.
Okay. So Shashti was right, what I said, Vishnu.
Shashti, yeah, it could have been Panchami also.
Okay.
Okay, now I don't remember what you said, but anyway, Panchami or Shashti and Vishnu is Saptami.
I said Shashti, anyways. Yeah.
So atra pashyantu. Let's do this in a way that my teacher has taught me, and hopefully you will find it useful. If not, we will switch to a different way of studying this. Kanchan Mahoday, Krupaya Yetat Pathatu. All these in colors.
Okay. Bhavan, Bhavantau, Bhavantah. He Bhavan, He Bhavantau, He Bhavan.
Read this again.
He Bhavan.
He
Bhavan, He Bhavantau, He Bhavantah. Bhavantam, Bhavantau, Bhavatah. Bhavata, Bhavatyam, Bhavatpihi. Bhavatpihi. Bhavate, Bhavatyam, Bhavatyah. Bhavatah, Bhavatyam, Bhavatyah. Bhavatah, Bhavatoh, Bhavatnam.
Bhavatam.
Bhavatan. Bhavatanam.
No, Bhavatam.
Bhavatam. Bhavatam. Bhavati, Bhavatoh, Bhavatsu.
Satyam. So there are a couple of things here. We can memorize this table. The challenge is in Ajanta Shabdas, for Swaras, if we learn Rama, then Shiva and Krishna and Ganesha, they are all the same. Parantu, in Halanta Shabdas, it's not like that. Takaranta Pullinga Shabda itself, there are 4 variations. Same way Nakaranta has many forms, or some multiple forms. Jakaranta has many forms, etc. So we can memorize all those tables. Another way is to look at this table and study the patterns so that you don't have to memorize everything, and you can just derive these forms based on the pattern. So that is how it was taught to me, and I'm hopefully going to do a good job of trying to convey the same patterns to you. And if you find it useful, study it this way. But if you find memorizing things easier, then you are welcome to do that. So in any of the Halanta forms, the one thing to note is the Prathama, Sambodhana and Ditya are the ones that don't follow any pattern, or not easily detectable pattern. Whereas Trutiya, Chaturthi, Panchami, Shashti and Saptami in Ekavachana, they follow a certain order. We have already seen that Dvivachanam for all words end with Bhyam, 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 right? Rama Bhyam, Sita Bhyam, Nadi Bhyam, Matrubhyam, Pitrubhyam, etc. So same way, Dvivachana in Trutiya, Chaturthi and Panchami for Halanta Shabdas also end in Bhyam, Bhyam, Bhyam. So that's easy. No need to put any mental effort to learn this. Same way, Shashti and Saptami Dvivachana usually end in Oho Oho most of the time. So even for Ajanta Shabdas are also they are same, right? Ramasya Ramayoho, Rame Ramayoho, Matroho, Pitroho, etc. So usually Dvivachanam, Shashti and Saptami end in some form of Oho. And Bahuvachanam, Shashti, let's start here. Trutiya Bahuvachanam usually ends in Bihi, Nadi Bihi, Sita Bihi, Matru Bihi, etc. So for almost all the Halanta Shabdas, Trutiya Bahuvachanam end in Bihi. Pratipadikam plus Bihi, Bhavat Bihi, Bhavat Bihi. Same way, Chaturthi and Panchami end in Bhyaha, Bhavat and Bhyaha, Bhavat Bhyaha. And usually Shashti Bahuvachanam ends in Am, Nam, like that. And Saptami Bahuvachanam ends in Su, Shu, etc. So those are the easy parts. The variations usually you will see in Prathama, Sambodhana and Dvitiya. There also, there are some patterns that we can see. Bahuvachan, okay. The Dvivachanam forms for Prathama, Sambodhana and Dvitiya, they are the same, usually, most of the time. The Bahuvachana, Prathama and Sambodhana, they are the same, like always. So that is one less thing to worry about. Parantu, Dvitiya Bahuvachanam, it is not Bhavantaha, Parantu it is Bhavataha. And that happens to match the Panchami and Shashti Ekvachanam. And that almost always applies for other types of Halanta Shabdas also, as we will see. So the main variation comes here in the Ekavachanam. So even though for Rama, it is Ramaha, for Vishnu, if the Pratipadikam is Vishnu, it is Vishnuhu. For Bhavat, it is not Bhavataha or something like that. It is Bhavan. And Sambodhana, it changes. It's not He Bhavan, Parantu it is He Bhavan. And like unlike Rama, where the Pratipadikam is the same as Sambodhana, it is not He Bhavat, but it is He Bhavan. And Dvitiya, it ends in that's the only commonality, but it is Bhavantam. Trutiya and Chaturthi, most of the time, all the Halanta Shabdas, they follow the same pattern. Bhavata, there will be a Dirgha, Bhavata. And Chaturthi, Ekavachanam, it will usually end in A, that type. The meanings, of course, are all the same, just like in any other vibhaktis. So Bhavan is Prathama Ekavachanam, means you are talking about somebody, etc. Bhavata means by, Bhavate means for, etc. But we have tried to color code the patterns that are similar, and hopefully this will make things simple. And here we have given some words that follow this pattern. Like I said, for Takaranta Shabdas, for Pumlinga, there are 4. These words, these Shabdas, they follow this pattern. There is a second pattern also that we will study. We won't study all 4 in our level. We will study only 2 of them. Let's create our own sentences. Hopefully it will give us practice and clarify a lot of things. Sudha Mahoday, Krupaya Arambham Karotu. Let's concentrate on the Ekavachanam. Can you form some sentences in different vibhaktis, or as many as you can?
Bhavan mama pashyati. Mam pashyati. Bhavan.
You are seeing me. Yes.
You are seeing. Yeah, Bhavan mam pashyati.
Bhavan mam pashyati. So you are seeing me.
Hey Bhavan.
Atra agacchatu. Right. Hey Bhavan atra agacchatu.
Aham bhavantam dadami.
Dadami danakriya asti chet. Which vibhakti?
Okay. Chaturthi. Bhavate. So bhavantam dvitiya vibhakti karta karma. Aham bhavantam pashyami.
Pashyami. I am seeing you.
Okay. Tritiya bhavata. Bhavata saha aham gacchami.
Uttamam. Bhavata saha aham gacchami. Anantaram.
For bhavate. Bhavate namaha.
Bhavate namaha. Bhavate aham pustakam dadami.
And then panchami. Bhavataha Bhavataha from him. Bhavataha pustakam I have taken.
Swikaromi.
Then Shashti. Bhavataha putraha. Can I say that?
Why not?
Bhavataha putraha sundaraha asti putra. Sundaraha asti. Then bhavati. Bhavati is Saptami. In or on. Mama vishwasam.
Vishwasah asti.
Asti. Bhavati mama vishwasa asti.
Asti. Uttamam.
Dhanyavad.
Atra prashna santi va? Any questions about the patterns that I've described, or do you see other patterns that you think will make this more helpful, or this way of learning through patterns you think is helpful?
The pattern is good.
So halanta shabdas, just a disclaimer, halanta shabdas have many variations and they are not as easy as ajanta shabdas. So we will go slow. So don't get stressed out if you don't remember everything. Remember the pattern and try to derive it. It will come with practice. We will talk more again in the next class. Again, I exceeded my time. Kshamyata. Anye prashnaha, sandehaha, samshayaha santi va?
Mahoday, ekah prashna asti.
Pruchhatu mahoday.
Last class, we studied that pratyaya like tavatu pratyayas are also visheshanaha. Whether twa and lep, they are also visheshana, only tatu is visheshana.
Twa and lep are avyayas, right?
Yeah.
So no, tavatu is. Because an avyaya does not have specific linga vachana vibhakti, right? It's the same for all linga vachana vibhakti. Anye prashnaha, sandehaha, samshayaha santi va? Astu Rita Mahoday, Mangala Shlokam Krutva Samapayamaha. Sarve mute Matye Bhavantu Kripaya.
पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम।
श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।
श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवादः महोदय। सर्वेभ्यः धन्यवादाः।
धन्यवाद।
धन्यवादाः।